All right. Hey guys, what's up? Man, I look so fat. It's so bad. Whatever. Okay. Doing another commentary watch along track. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. Good fun. And it's 304, fourth episode. We're almost halfway through, which is crazy. Um Man, these seasons should be longer. They should give us more episodes. It would be cool. It would be cool to do more. So, what happened? Last episode, they used the Beast of Beginning to go back in time to save the world from the Helling and save the barbarians from their ails. Um, we're trying to this episode we got Reggie Watts. He was great. We tried to get him last season, but the scheduling didn't line up because he's the band leader on like the Late Show or something, right? I can't remember, but he had a hard time getting away for tapings in the evenings, which is when we shoot. Anyway, worked out this time. Thrilled to have him. Yeah, so I guess let's just start it. If you don't know what's going to happen, I have the video queued up on VRV right now. I'm going to hit the space bar and I'm going to press this timer at the same time, and you do the same. Hopefully your video's buffered a little bit. Then we'll watch it at rough synchronicity, and I'll talk about it. And hopefully you can't hear it through my headphones, which might happen, but if it did, would probably be mostly just annoying. All right. Without further ado, let me click over. As we say on Harmonquest, let's quest. Beep, 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 boop. That's something some things do, right? So it's just a recap. Man, Tawny was so great, huh? That was like a great episode. I love Jeff's disguise. That gray guy shows up. I mentioned before, but the gray guy was supposed to be in episode 2, but it didn't work out. There's the Beast of Beginning. Who knows what it's like? It's fun to cut these together, but it can be hard. Yeah. So it's like something went wrong with the Beast of Beginning. It screamed and disappeared. So yeah, it would be cool to meet that party of adventurers that's in the intro somewhere in the world. I always wonder if any of those people are supposed to actually be resembling real people. I don't know. Oh, I'm so fat. You're not allowed to wear logos, but Dan wears Minecraft shirt, so it's mostly you can't see most of it. You're not supposed to wear a lot of stuff. I was trying to do like a Terminator thing there. I don't know. What's Aaron gonna say? I don't know what she said. She might have said I have a secret or I'm pregnant or something. I don't know what she was mouthing there. Those are cool glasses. I need new glasses. such a weird instinct. So strange. Has anyone joined midway through season 3? Is this the first episode anyone's watching? This season, I tried to make it a point to tell the guests that we always say, well, let's quest all together, because they used to just get blindsided. There's a goblin down there who's peed his pants. Greldoc. We always get people's names wrong. No one gets his name right. It's like Greldoc. Even he changes it. So yeah, Reggie plays multiple characters. He has great voices. I think he forgot the third voice he did, though. Right. So they're in Goblopolis. I don't know if that's been made clear. I think it is. But they're in Goblopolis before it got all destroyed, like we saw it in the first episode. Oh shit. That used to be like he used to sing something, but we couldn't get the rights to it, so he just took out the singing. But yeah, they went back in time using the Beast of Beginning, so the fondue's back somehow. Who knows? Time travel's wonky. You can't really use disguise untrained, I don't think. So fondue looks a little different because this saturation color thing we have this whole beginning of the season. So we're still saturated, but it goes away in like episode 7? 6 or 7. This is the only goblin that doesn't get a name because Dan doesn't ask him what his name is. It just took like one. He's like, it'll be cool or something. He's like, oh, okay. If it'll be cool, let's go see the king. This is the area where the Puppet King was in the first episode. It's supposed to, yeah, it looks pretty similar, right? Big door. You got the statues and the pillars. That's accurate. That's real. In this timeline, Dan hasn't died yet. It's before the helling of Earth happened, and the helling of Earth started in like episode 5 of season 2. So in the timeline, they're before episode 5. They're certainly before episode 10. Presumably, Fondue got sucked through time. Not through time. He got redistributed through time by the Beast of Beginnings magic. But it all didn't go like they had planned. Yeah, Fondue's here, but Limerick's not around. It makes sense if you think about it. His face there is so funny. We put a fun filter on my voice there. They're in the past, so he still has his. They can fit either arm magically. They're not like just left or right-handed. That's part of their magic. That's a kind of fun echo effect there. Like he's down the hall. So this season is supposed to involve time travel. So that's kind of why I picked Goblopolis, was this like area that was devastated. So then when they went back in the past, when they go back in the past, then it's nice, and then they can see kind of how things came to pass, and so it kind of sells the time travel aspect. It's like, oh, I was thinking that it would be nice to do it in Urskar Village or somewhere where you can kind of track the time travel, but it didn't really work for a lot of past locations that we had. I don't think it would feel like enough has changed. So Goblopolis is the pretzel. The pretzel is a recurring joke. And so this happened in the season 1 flashback to the Puppet King, but it's a different giant, and that's kind of supposed to imply that the past has changed somewhat by their time travel meddling. But yeah, we were going to use a different location like the city of Forlona or Urskar Village or something like that. But it all didn't really fit, and it didn't fit with the timeline. So that's why we did Goblopolis and like invented it to kind of work with the time travel timing of everything. The idea with the Puppet King is that they killed Celti and they killed the Manticore and Fortheon and stuff, but there's still threats that are causing problems in the held world, because basically all the held world is threats. It's all bad stuff and they're all winning. So he's just one of many antagonists that exists in the future. But they defeated him. But now he's back in the past. Yeah, so Dan made the improv choice that he thought that he was invincible because he went back in time and he wasn't dead yet in his timeline, so that means he couldn't die, otherwise it would create a time paradox, which isn't exactly true, but it was a fun improv choice. I love the Puppet King design. Everyone's like, this is a terrible idea. And Aaron's like, well, how can I deal with it? I'll make it a puppet gambit. I like that. Her puppeting looks so funny to me. Sound design is kind of funky there for the sound effects. I don't know what magic sounds like, but it's hard. Yeah, I want to say they're like 300 feet from the parapet. I should have just said there were arbalests, or he was in archer range, just to kind of yes and him and give him something fun to do. But this ends up being good. That's like one of those things that it works really good in animatic, and then it kind of gets watered down the better it gets, like the more final, but I don't know, I still think it works pretty well. So they all come down here, which is good because they're fighting kind of a war, a big battle. He passed his will save. She still has her cut on her shoulder. And they all just leave him alone. It's so rude. He really can take it. That's what's funny. Yeah, all of his characters have like 75 HP because he's a goblin fighter. He's technically, his rank is like a goblin general. All three of them are. They're war bosses. They control war gangs, which are like military units. Yeah, so while they've been over here, somehow the world was held elsewhere in the world. So it's like they tried to go back in time to stop that from happening, and something went wrong, and it happened again anyway. Also, part of it's like the demon realm convergence is part of what made the Puppet King so powerful. He's like full of demonic energy and stuff. And so that's one of the reasons he had such an easy time overrunning the Goblin City. Her song has changed significantly. She bumped into him while he was like eating snacks. They were eating snacks while everyone was cheering. It was funny. You know, she doesn't really make these attacks, but it makes it more exciting. So it's more like she's just running unopposed. This season we had more of a problem with damage numbers because the screens, the scene, the camera, effectively, it's not a real camera, but it moves a lot more, and it makes it hard to make the damage numbers feel satisfying when like you put them on screen, the camera whips away from the damage numbers because then you have to like mirror that exactly, the camera move, otherwise it looks weird. I don't know. So that him exploding with demon energy there was supposed to be kind of like he's getting filled with demonic power. He's so big in this. I guess he's like really up high maybe, but he just looks giant, the Puppet King. I don't think I ever noticed that. Dan looks evil. That's always fun. This is also before the Puppet King got his full army. Like once he takes control of all the goblins. And that's why this whole area is crumbled like you saw it in episode 1 because of the gemstone blowing shit up. Anyway, once he controls all the goblins, he becomes like a more powerful force, but in this part he eats the pretzel. He pointedly eats a pretzel. Anyway, yeah. This is like we thought we were going to save the world, but actually, it's really fucked up. That's kind of like the theme of this episode. Excuse me. In a couple of the background shots, there's like a pretzel cart that says like, yeah, there we go. Goblin pretzel cart. Because goblins apparently export pretzels. That's like a big industry of theirs. Yeah, so they're in the past, but then the gray guy has still followed them. Isn't that mysterious? You'd think you could escape to the past. But no. Not from this guy. Yep. So we've seen the gray ghost disintegrate shit. Now he disintegrated both himself and Fondue. It's like an escalation. That's one of my favorite jokes. I don't know how well it tracks or whatever, but I love it. Originally, the second Goblin Fray there was supposed to be like a clue. That's like, oh, if the Goblin Fray is still here in the past, maybe the Beast of Beginning is still here in the past. I guess we know what to do. Her arms. It didn't really get a whole plot point with dialogue or anything to convey the concept, but that was the intention. Because they're in the past and shit's fucked, but it's like, what do we do now? And it's like, I guess maybe we use the Beast of Beginning again, the thing that didn't work last time. Everyone's dancing. We're all loving it. So this episode is one of the few episodes that has a credits gag. I kind of want to do like a credits gag or an end tag every episode. If we get another season, it would be really cool. I had that thought last season too, but we didn't execute it this season because I forgot. Anyway, yeah, so in this timeline, the guys got away from the Puppet King and he didn't enslave all the goblins. So it's maybe a tiny bit better in the timeline. This is another thing that really worked well on the animatic. What was that guy's name? I can't remember who did this one. I can't remember his name. He went on to another show about halfway through, but he boarded most of this episode and all the dancing and stuff. It was really impressive. It was really impressive. But yeah. So I guess that's the commentary. I feel like this one was worse, but you know, you don't have to tell me I'm right or wrong about that. Don't worry about it. That's my baggage, not your cause to take up. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. Hope you liked that one. I like this one too. It was pretty funny. Reggie Watts has some interesting character choices that I think are really fun. There's a lot of good visual stuff that episode, I think. Visual gags and stuff got executed pretty well. I wish we could do that like every episode, like every moment of the show could be full of stuff like that, but it doesn't always turn out. Also, it's hard to think of stuff like that. I mean, I don't think of most of that stuff. It's the storyboard artists, but it's hard to do. So yeah, next episode is episode 5, and that'll be halfway through. Yeah, like I said, I feel like I'm just kind of, this is more of a filler commentary, but whatever. Yeah, this episode was just supposed to be like a big fight, like a big pitched battle. That's something that happens in D&D sometimes. It's like instead of just encounters, it's like, oh, we got to get this army together and fight this other army or something like that. That was kind of the guiding inspiration of the theme of that adventure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Tweet about the show. Get your friends to watch it. Americans only. No, sorry we don't make the show available outside of America. That's not my fault. That's not something I wanted. That's not something I can affect. It has to do with the company. It turns out, you know, we just made the show, and then a company chose to buy the show. If no one bought the show, we couldn't distribute it at all because someone else owns it, and they weren't going to distribute it. They were just going to keep it. So the person that bought it, they have the rights to stream it, and they're not operating outside the country for various reasons. I think it's expensive to operate outside of, in different countries. There's different broadcasting laws. You have to get like a license in some cases. It's every country you go to, it's like a new set of things. And then plus there's like international accounting and taxes and who knows what the fuck. But it becomes this big logistical headache to show the show outside of America for the company. And if you're a big enough company, you can deal with that. But that's why Netflix does. Although Netflix has different branches for the different countries and different shows are available in those different countries, that's all because of all the same stuff. So it's not as easy as, oh, just make VRV do it, because, or Verve, I guess. They're called Verve, not VRV. It's spelled VRV. Anyway, I have been trying. I don't think it's been working, as you can tell. But that's kind of the logic behind that. So if you ask them, maybe they'll go. Or maybe Netflix will buy the streaming rights. It's probably pretty expensive, so I don't foresee either of those things happening, but there's not much else to do. And if you can't watch it, you know, it's not my fault, and there's nothing I can do, and there's nothing I can do to get your money. So if you want to give me money from outside the country, well, there's just not a way for that to be done, and that's fine with me, and I know you gotta do what you gotta do. So just don't worry about it, and don't bother me with it, because There's nothing I could do about it. But if there was, you'd be the first to know, if for no other reason than to, stop people from bothering me about it. So I'm really sorry about that. You know, I don't know who's going to watch this, so I can't be too explicit with what I can or can't recommend. But, it's all good. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I get it. Sorry. Anyway, okay. So thanks for watching. I guess I'll see you guys next week. I'm trying to Twitch stream Saga Frontier, so maybe check that out if I'm still doing that. I mean, if you watch this in a year or two, this is going to age poorly. Anyway, all right. See you later. Bye.